Story 1. I, 28M, am considering leaving my GF, 29F, after she catfished me as a prank. My girlfriend and I have been together for 2 years. From the start, I always thought she was sweet and kind, and I really appreciated how much she loved me. She could get a little jealous at times, but I never thought it was a huge issue. If I'm being honest, I even enjoyed the attention. It made me feel attractive, something I've never really felt before. Not too long ago, we attended a work event for my company. We met one of my coworkers there, someone who works at a different branch and who I don't interact with much outside of emails and calls, but we get along fine. This event was my girlfriend's first time meeting her, and after the event, she started acting a little off. She kept asking if I thought my coworker was pretty, if I had a work wife, and questioning me about her. I knew my girlfriend could be a bit jealous, so I reassured her, saying that I didn't think my coworker was more beautiful than her. I don't follow her on social media, and I don't even have her personal phone number. Eventually, she calmed down, and things seemed normal again. A few weeks later, I got a follow request on Instagram from that same coworker. I accepted and followed her back. Her account is private, mine is too. At the time, I didn't think much of it, though when I checked her profile, I noticed it was mostly recent vacation pics of her in swimsuits. It didn't seem overtly inappropriate, but it did seem odd that there were no other kinds of posts, just vacation photos. I didn't really pay much attention to it though. Then, a few days later, she'd met me on Instagram. It was casual small talk at first, nothing flirty, but over time, the conversations became a little more flirtatious. Eventually, I told her I was in a relationship and would appreciate if we kept things professional. She seemed to understand and said it wouldn't be an issue. After that, my girlfriend seemed extra affectionate. I didn't think much of it at the time, but looking back, I can see how that was probably a reaction to the flirting. A week later, though, I got another follow recommendation on Instagram. It was my coworker's public account. I checked it out and realized that those swimsuit pics I'd seen before were just a part of her regular Instagram feed. It clicked for me that I'd been tricked. Before confronting my girlfriend, I decided to talk to my coworker at work and ask her for her normal Instagram handle. She gave it to me without hesitation, and after checking it out, it became clear that the private account I'd followed wasn't hers at all. I'd been catfished by my girlfriend. I confronted my girlfriend about it. At first, she denied everything, but then she shifted into gaslighting me, claiming it was just a prank or a test, or that she needed to know she could trust me because she had been cheated on before. I told her that while trust was important, how could I trust her now? She completely deflected and questioned how I even knew it was her if I wasn't cheating on her with my coworker. It felt manipulative, and I told her I needed some time to think, so I left. Since then, she's been texting and calling, saying I'm ruining a great relationship over nothing, that I'm overreacting, and that when I realize how much she loves me, it'll be too late. She even called it unfair for me to throw everything we built away over some skank. It just feels like she doesn't get the gravity of what she did. Now, I'm stuck. We've been happy for 2 years, and I don't know whether to cut ties or give it another chance. But can trust really be rebuilt after something like this? Comment 1. That doesn't work for us. I will check my availability and let you know when I can visit. Expect, but. Just repeat yourself as many times as necessary, then be prepared for phone calls saying you were mean / disrespectful / etc. Repeat as many times as necessary that if you are perceived as mean / disrespectful, it is because no one will respect the word no, and until they do, you will wear the mean / disrespectful badge with pride. Comment 2. Put up a doorbell camera. If someone uninvited shows up, don't open the door. Comment 3. When they say, I don't care, reply clearly, but I care though. It's not convenient for me. Let's plan to get together when it works for both of us, not just you. Comment 4. I couldn't forgive someone after they breached my trust like this. The fact that she did this with no care for the consequences too, you could have potentially reported your colleague to HR, shows incredibly poor judgment, as well as all of the obvious other problems with this. This is likely not the only unhinged thing she's done in your relationship. and it won't be the last. Comment 5. So she impersonated this woman, took her photos, pretended to come on to you as her, then had the audacity to call her a skank? Your GF isn't a nice person. Her mask slipped. And TBH, she sounds like way too much work. I have trust issues. I get flares of jealousy over nonsense. But I don't say anything and just calm myself down. She is way out of line. Assholes always have lame excuses for their shitty actions. In my 40s and in perimenopause, I'm quick to drop PPL over BS. That's what I do. But if you don't want that, I'd insist on her getting counseling. Comment 6. I had to go back and check her age. 29 is way too old to be doing this. 14 to 15 maybe, but cheating is a breach of trust, and so is what she did. She lied and deceived you to get what she wanted. Comment 7. Never stay with anyone who tests you. They want you to fail the test to prove their doubts are genuine. Every time you pass, they'll be loving for a bit until another doubt enters their head and they come up with another test for you to pass. It's no way to live your life. No trust equals no relationship. Story 2. My 29F, fiancé 29M, Irish goodbyed me at a bar and is now acting strange. Advice? It all started last weekend when we went to a very busy bar downtown. I'm someone who doesn't enjoy crowded places due to my social anxiety, so I felt uncomfortable from the start. I shared this with my fiancé, and we decided to have some of his friends meet up with us, which helped a little since I consider them friends too. After a while, though, I noticed my fiancé wasn't hanging out with us anymore. I checked my phone and saw that he had texted me about 20 minutes earlier saying, "Let's leave and get dinner." I texted him back, asking where he was, but there was no reply. After calling him a few times, he finally answered and told me he was outside the bar, then quickly hung up. He wouldn't answer any of my other calls. I went outside to look for him in the crowd, but it took a while before I finally found him, a block away and standing by himself on his phone. I was furious and asked him why he left without telling me and why he hadn't been answering his phone. His response was, "I didn't leave you." I tried asking more questions, but he just stopped talking, and we didn't speak for the rest of the day. I know he didn't technically leave me in the sense that he went home without me, but I was still shocked. He didn't say anything about leaving or give me a heads up. When I was getting another drink, I had asked him if he needed one, and he said no, but at no point did he mention he was planning on leaving. I had to search for him alone, drunk, in a crowd of strangers, which didn't feel good at all. During the week, things kind of went back to normal, but I did text him about it calmly, trying to get some clarity. He never responded. Fast forward to this weekend. He went to the gym early in the morning while I stayed in bed. When he came back, he brought me coffee, which he often does, but when I finally got up, I noticed he wasn't home. I checked his location, and he was driving around the area. I watched as he drove in circles for a while, then parked at a park about a mile from our house. We don't usually go to that park. He stayed there for about 30 minutes, and I texted him asking where he went. He didn't reply. When he finally came home, I tried to keep things light and jokingly asked where he had gone. I said, "You went to the gym, but then you left after that, right?" He mumbled something about being at the gym, but refused to answer when I asked again about what he did after. When I pressed him further, he got defensive and said, "I don't know. I was just driving around. I'm not sure how to feel." His behavior is so unlike him, and it's really hard for me to make sense of it. We've always been open and transparent with each other, so this secretive side of him is throwing me off. It hurts to think that maybe he needed to get away from me enough to just drive around aimlessly for an hour. I'm perfectly okay with him having some private time. He sometimes goes into the guest room, shuts the door, and I don't bother him, but this feels different. I can't shake the feeling that something's off, but I just don't know what it is. I'm not the best communicator, but I've been trying to work on it. It's just so hard when my fiancé shuts down completely and refuses to talk about what's going on. Yesterday, I broke down and told him that his silence and lack of response make me feel like I'm an inconvenience and like he's not being a partner to me. After a while, he apologized for making me feel like he doesn't care, but he still hasn't given me any more clarity on why he left the bar or why he was driving around. When I asked about it again, he said he doesn't want to talk about it. I'm starting to feel crazy. He wants to just move on and act like everything is normal, but I can't shake the feeling that something is off. I really don't know how to approach the situation anymore, so any advice would be really helpful. Comment 1. This may be difficult to hear, but you need to abandon your idea of what you want her relationship to be with your kids. She's never going to be a good grandma. Accept this is who she is. Ask yourself why you would want to put the effort into this kind of relationship. This is not the behavior of someone who loves you or your spouse. Your kids will have plenty of good influences along the way, some you haven't even met yet. Family is what you make of it, not just what you're stuck with by birth. Comment 2. Have your husband go online and complete the paperwork for selling the car to his mom. Comment 3. She steals from you. She lies to you. She is committing fraud on a daily basis. She's got a creep for a bed warmer that she prioritizes over you. And she deliberately made your labor and delivery as miserable as she could possibly make it. All while pouting and playing the victim. Why do you want this person in your life? Comment 4. Trust your gut. Something is definitely up. How you choose to look into that is up to you, but ignoring it isn't going to make it go away. Comment 5. That's really weird and strange behavior. The leaving you at the bar was rude and asshole move. The driving after coming home is very strange. I'd have a serious sit-down talk with and ask if anything is going on because this behavior is concerning. Ask him if there's more stress lately, if there's anything he wants to talk about, or anything he's concerned about. Comment 6. Sounds like he was on the phone to someone, both outside the bar and then in his car, decided to stop and sit in the park to continue his call. Story 3. My 24F, husband 27M, is putting me on a restrictive diet due to a recent diagnosis, TW, dieting and past ED mentions. I was recently diagnosed with PCOS, and since then, my husband has taken it upon himself to use Google as his primary source of information. Despite the fact that my doctor has given us clear, tailored advice during our appointments, he seems to focus solely on what he reads online. As a result, he has decided that I'm not allowed to have sugar, and I'm not talking about avoiding sweets. I'm talking about even small amounts, like if a seasoning has cane sugar listed in the ingredients but contains 0 g of sugar, he still insists I shouldn't have it. I've had multiple conversations with him about how restrictive this diet makes me feel. He apologizes each time and says he'll stop, but then continues with these behaviors, sometimes within just an hour of apologizing. In the past, he has openly expressed that he's less attracted to me because of some weight gain. He admits that he found me more attractive when we first met, but he knows that at that time, I was struggling with anorexia. Now, he insists that his focus on limiting sugar is all about my health and not my weight, but given his past comments about my appearance, it's hard for me to believe that. We're trying to start a family, and while he says he's just trying to increase our chances of conceiving, his actions are doing the opposite. They're not only going against my doctor's recommendations but are also seriously affecting my mental health. How can I handle this situation in a way that takes both my health and my mental well-being into account, without feeling like I'm constantly fighting him on this? Comment 1. Why does she know when/where the lessons are? Stop giving her info. Comment 2. Elos mommy and me classes are just for Elos and their mommies. Too bad. Comment 3. I don't understand. Why does she even know when the classes are? She needs to be on an info diet, and you need to stand up for yourself. You have a child now. You are the mother, not her. Tell her no. Do you live with her? Why is she being allowed to insert herself in your life like this? Comment 4. Okay. Let me get this straight. He is ignoring doctor's instructions, restricting your food, allowing is just authoritarian, you shouldn't have that much authority, has constantly criticized your appearance, is destroying your mental health even after knowing your past illness and disorders. He apologizes, says he'll stop, then continues, sometimes only an hour later. Well, the apology doesn't mean much then, does it? Pray tell me, Why do you want to have kids with this person? No, no, let me rephrase. Why are you with this person? Comment 5. Number 1. Don't have a baby with him. And I'd seriously consider if this is the life you want moving forward. Now it's your cause. What would happen if you got pregnant and gained weight? What about losing the baby weight? Etc., etc. He's concerned about your weight for himself, not for your health. Comment 6. Leave your controlling husband. Your self-esteem and health will thank you. Comment 7. Does not let you? You need permission to eat certain things? And you want to have a child with this man? If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and we will see you in the next video.